Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Betting Insights. I'm your host, Timothy. Of course, I'm joined by Sergio again. Sergio, welcome.
Hey Tim, what's up? Hey everybody.
As you know, we are giving out betting tips for 5 different club competitions across Europe: Serie A, La Liga, Bundesliga, Eredivisie, and the Premier League. If you're new to the show, welcome. Smash the like button and also be sure to subscribe. We appreciate that. Now, last week we were off due to the international break, but of course, club competition is back, so are we. Now, let's not waste any more time. Let's get started. Today, we are starting with the Bundesliga, and the first game on the schedule is Borussia Dortmund hosting Freiburg. Dortmund wins set at 1.68, Freiburg wins set at 5. The line for total goal set at 2.5. Now, I have a play in this game. I'm looking at both teams to score. No, it's a low odds set at 1.58. I think Dortmund will win, but both teams to score at 1.58, it's not that much lower. And I can really see both teams getting on a score sheet here. Dortmund, they have trouble keeping clean sheets. That's a well-known fact. And Freiburg, they haven't scored in back-to-back games in the competition. Kind of odd for a team like Freiburg. They're sitting fifth, so I believe they will get on the score sheet here. Both teams to score 1.58. I can also see the over 2.5 because I think Dortmund will win. Sergio, what are you doing here?
Yeah, I think we will start on agreeing terms because yeah, I think the same option is possible here. Dortmund win and both teams to score. Dortmund seventh, Freiburg fifth. So yeah, Dortmund just won two out of the last five or six. So I think their form is not that good, but a win against Freiburg is definitely possible. Over 2.5, yeah, maybe a little bit uh, too low, but I would go for a Dortmund win, both teams to score still.
And you talked about their form overall, which I agree with. But if you look at their home form, just amazing. They've won all their home games this season, so this should be another home win. Now, before the break, they were on the road against Mainz, and I begged you not to take them against Mainz. You did anyway. They lost the game. So I just had to mention that.
Yeah, but that was an away game, right? So,
Yeah,
yeah,
true.
but still, yeah.
All right. No problem. All right, let's get to the next game. Hoffenheim hosting Leipzig. Hoffenheim wins set at 3.6. Leipzig wins set at 2.08. Line for total goal set at 3.5. Now, before the break, I like Leipzig. They were at home hosting Borussia Mönchengladbach. They should have won that game. We're actually better. It ended in a draw 0-0. No worries. I will back them again here because now they are 3 straight games without a win, two of which they have lost. While Hoffenheim, they've just won one game on the season, at least in the league. So, and that was against Bochum, and Bochum is just dead last in the league. This is a good bounce back spot for Leipzig. Actually, I'm taking Leipzig as one of my favorite bets for the week. Give me Leipzig, Sergio. I think you're going the same way.
Yes, I'm going the same way. The last game was also a disappointment for me because I really thought Leipzig would win that one, and like you said, it's now three in a row without a win. So a win against Hoffenheim is yeah, definitely possible. So I'll just go for the Leipzig win also.
All right. Next up, Wolfsburg hosting Union Berlin. Wolfsburg wins set at 2.32. Union wins set at 3.4. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now, I have two picks in this game. Not sure which way I'm going yet. I'm looking at Wolfsburg to win, but I'm also looking at both teams to score. I'm gonna play one of them. Not sure which one just yet. Uh, Union, they haven't scored in 3 straight games. So this is a chance to get on the score sheet again, possibly. And if Union scores, I'm not sure Wolfsburg scores twice to win the game. But I'm also not sure Union scores at all in this game because 4 of the last 5 away games, Union has not scored. So I'm not sure. Wolfsburg win, both teams to score. One of those will be my pick. Sergio, what are you doing here?
Yeah, I'm looking more at a Union win. Union also they haven't won a game in three or four the four
Or
last,
yeah, four.
four last games, two draws, two losses. So I think I think Union is gonna win this one. I'm going for a Union win.
Oh man, I have to disagree with you here. Unio is not good on the road. They can barely score, and if they're going on the road against Wolfsburg to win the game, they possibly need to score twice. I'm not even sure they're scoring once, so twice definitely not backing them. I'm staying away from Union. Like I said, Wolfsburg or both teams to score. I'm leaning heavily more towards both teams to score.
Then maybe the over 2.5. Or
Possibly.
it will be a draw, you think?
Yeah, I think a draw or just a narrow Wolfsburg win. That's what I think here. I just can't back Union on the road. Like I said, four of the last five road games they haven't scored at all, and it's not like they played some world beaters. They lost to I get that was a cup game, but still Armenia Bielefeld lost 2-0, lost 1-0 against Gladbach, a 0-0 draw against Leipzig. Okay, I can understand that one, and also a 3-0 loss against Bayern Munich. Maybe I can understand that one also, but still don't like the results. All right, let's get to the next game. Stuttgart hosting Bochum. Stuttgart wins set at 1.33. Bochum wins set at 9. Line for total goals set at 3.5. Now, this should be a routine home win for Stuttgart. Also, a team 3 straight games without a win, playing the last team in the league. Just Bochum just dead last, 2 points so far on the season. So easy win for Stuttgart here, right?
Yeah, I don't think there's much to add. Stuttgart, yeah, definitely the favorite in this game.
Yeah. And 1.33 low odd, but I'm so sure about this game. I might just parlay it with Dortmund and Freiburg, both teams to score. Uh, that should give you a good odd. All right, next up, Leverkusen hosting Heidenheim. Leverkusen wins set at 1.19. Heidenheim wins set at 15. Line total goals 3.5. Now the only thing I'm looking at here is the over 3.5 because obviously Leverkusen winning 1.19. I'm not betting that, not betting that out. Just do it very very low. But sorry, Leverkusen, they don't look like the same team. One out of the last 5 games they've won. A draw against Bochum before the break, 1-1 draw.
Yeah,
Uh,
disappointing.
just very disappointing this season. So what's going on with Leverkusen here?
I think it's just yeah. Last season I think they gave everything, and I think maybe it's a motivation, thing. If last season you won almost every game, and okay, you lost the final against Atalanta. Yeah, but still they achieved a lot, and it's I think it's just difficult to stay motivated, for a team like Leverkusen, and they lost a few players, but not a lot. So
Not a lot, not a lot. They
yeah,
still
so
they still have their best players.
yeah. So it's just a motivational thing, because it's I think yeah, the drop is yeah, it's too much.
Yeah. So are you looking at the over 3.5 goals here or under 3.5?
No, I'm just I'm maybe just even looking at the Leverkusen win, but still both teams to score. It looks like Leverkusen they concede a lot of goals. So I would just go for Leverkusen win, both teams to score.
All right,
Yeah,
I think that's a good odd. Yes, they've allowed 16 goals so far. It's like more than 1.5 goals a game. And a team like Heidenheim, they average over a goal a game. So I can see them getting on a score sheet here.
yeah,
All right. Next up, Frankfurt hosting Bremen. Frankfurt wins set at 1.74. Bremen wins set at 4.5. Line for total goals set at 3.5. I think in this game, the 3.5 is a bit too high, a bit too rich for my blood. But Frankfurt, they're on a roll, right? They've won 4 straight. They've won 5 out of the last 6. Obviously scored in every game. So Werder Bremen on the road. won four of the last five, lost the last one, but not impressive road wins against Mainz, Hoffenheim, Wolfsburg, a cup game against Paderborn, and then they lost against Gladbach. So obviously you have to go with Frankfurt here, but Frankfurt is just so hot. I'm trying to stay away from a team that's that hot. What are you doing here?
Yes, yes, I understand what you're saying, but yeah, but still, against Werder Bremen at home, I think it's possible. And 1.77 or 76, it's a good odd to parlay it with one of the other ones. So no, I'm just going for a Frankfurt win. I think after the break, the first game at home, I think it's just. It'll even be an easy win for them.
All right. All right. Next up, Mainz hosting. Holstein Kiel hosting Mainz. Holstein Kiel wins set at 3.25. Mainz wins set at 2.25. Line from total goal set at 2.5. Now, this is a game I'm definitely skipping. Both teams won one out of the last five games. I know Mainz won against Dortmund, but other than that, they haven't been impressive. Kiel even worse. So not two teams I'm looking to put my money on. Or are you doing something here?
Still, Mainz is a possibility. I would gone to my head. I would go for Mainz, but yeah, the over 2.5. It's a little bit too much, I think. So I think this will be a one goal game, and if it's a one goal game, I would go for Mainz, but yeah, I'll skip this one also, but maybe I'll just keep it in mind.
All right. Next up, Gladbach hosting St. Pauli. Gladbach wins set at 1.85. St. Pauli wins set at 4.2. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now, this one, another easy pick. Obviously, it looks like that. But just a good Borussia Mönchengladbach win, 1.85. Good odd. St. Pauli, I think the odds still high, and even though Gladbach's not that good, St. Pauli is just bad. They have scored 7 goals in 10 games, and I can see them getting on the road here, scoring more than Gladbach. So this should be an easy Gladbach win. I don't know why the odd for Gladbach is that high. Can you explain it?
Yes. No, but I'll take advantage of it definitely. So no, it will be a Gladbach win. I don't see nothing else happening. I'll even try the over 2.5, but definitely a Gladbach win.
All right. Now that wraps up the Bundesliga. Let's get to the Eredivisie. First game, Go Ahead Eagles hosting Almere City. Go Ahead Eagles win set at 1.5. Almere City win set at 7. Line for total goals set at 2.5. Go Ahead Eagles, another team, 4 straight games without a win. Almere City, 3 straight games without a win. Lost all 3. But this has to be an easy Go Ahead Eagles win. Almere City, they're just awful. In the last 3 games they've lost, they haven't scored in 2 of them. The last one, they scored 1 goal. They even lost to Quick Boys, 3-0. So how can they possibly go on the road here and beat Go Ahead Eagles? I don't think so. Odds are low, but Go Ahead Eagles just has to win this game. What are you doing here?
1.50. Yeah, it's still something
All
good.
about.
But yeah, like you said, the loss against Quick Boys was terrible, and I think that defines their season. So I'm not saying that it was a deciding loss, but it says a lot about the position the team is now. I'm also looking at the over 2.5. I think there were a lot of goals being scored this game. So I would just go for the over 2.5 and Go Ahead Eagles win. Yeah, that will happen. But the over 2.5 is more at 1.80. Yeah, I like it a little bit more.
Yeah, it's more value, the over 2.5, but man, you're gonna rely heavily on Go Ahead Eagles to push this over 2.5 because Almere City they've scored 6 goals in 12 games. So obviously not a team that scores a lot, and if you can't score against Quick Boys, I'm not sure you're scoring against Go Ahead Eagles. So you possibly need Go Ahead Eagles to score 3 times. I get it's more value 1.8 versus 1.5. I'm sticking with the 1.5.
Oh, but they scored against Feyenoord, so
Yeah, but that was at home. That was at home. And like I said, if you look at the stats, if they score against Feyenoord, they're possibly not scoring here because they score like half a goal a game. So every 2 games they score 1 goal. So no, not backing Almere City to score a goal. All right, next up, Feyenoord hosting Heerenveen. Feyenoord wins set at 1.27. Heerenveen wins set at 12.5. Line for the goal set at 3.5. Now, another easy pick. Feyenoord should win this game at home. Heerenveen, they won against IJsselmeer Vogels on the road, but obviously that's not an Eredivisie team. Every other Eredivisie game they've lost on the road, against Fortuna, against NEC, against Heracles. Like every road Eredivisie game they've lost. So how can they possibly go uh, at Feyenoord and win this game? No way, not even a point. So just take Feyenoord for the win. But I think the over 3.5 is a little bit too high. Um, I'm looking more at the under 3.5. What are you doing here?
I don't think it's too high. If Heerenveen loses, they lose big. So so against Feyenoord at home, I think a lot of goals will be scored also. So the over 3.5, it's not impossible, definitely. And I I'm looking more at the over 3.5. I think that will happen.
I get what you're saying. They've lost 2 straight road games, 3-0, but 3-0, it's a big loss, but it's still under 3.5 goals because obviously they haven't scored. And if you look at all the road games they've lost, only one was pushed over 3.5 goals, and that was the 9-1 loss against Asset. Obviously, um, bit of an odd game, 9-1 that doesn't happen very often. Every other road game they've lost under 3.5 goals, so that's why I'm not comfortable taking the over 3.5 goals.
Yeah, but the other two games were NEC and Fortuna. Yeah, this is Feyenoord in the Cape. I think Feyenoord will definitely try to make an example.
Yeah, so you're basically relying on Feyenoord to score 4 goals.
Or Heerenveen can also score a goal. That's also possible. So uh,
Well,
I'll
if
just go for the over 3.5.
all right, then I will give you a better pick, one which I like more, and that's Feyenoord to score over 2.5 goals. That's set at 1.96, even more value. So if you think there will be more than 3 goals, Feyenoord should at least score 3 times. Maybe Heerenveen scores once, it goes over 3.5, but at least you have, if Heerenveen were not to score, Feyenoord just wins 3-0. Your ticket still cashes. So Feyenoord over 2.5 goals. I think that's more interesting, at least for me.
That's also a possibility. I agree.
All right. Next up, Heracles hosting RKC. Heracles wins set at 1.74. RKC wins set at 4.7. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now, Heracles, not a good team, so I don't understand why they're getting that much respect. 1.74. I know they're playing against RKC. And RKC, yeah, they won 2 games against Vitesse and then against Almere City, but then lost the home game again against NEC. So, um, listen, man, 2 bad teams, not one I want to put my money on. I think I'm skipping this game. Are you doing something?
I think I'm gonna agree with you. I'm also gonna skip this one, honestly. Yeah, yeah,
All right.
not much to add.
All right. Next up, Fortuna Sittard hosting Twente. Fortuna wins set at 4.8. Twente wins set at 1.86. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now, Twente obviously favored in this game. I don't know why. So by so much, 1.86. I don't like Twente on the road. If you look at the road games, um, they have like 2 good wins on the road against NEC and then against Willem II. And third one, they have 3 road wins in total. What the other one was against Almere City, 5-0 win. But listen, man, everybody beats Almere City, so not really counting that one. The other road games, very disappointing. So I'm looking more at Fortuna Sittard, a double chance for Fortuna Sittard set at 1.96. I'm not sure Twente wins this game, so I'm not backing Twente. What are you doing here?
I'm not backing them also. I'm just going for the over 2.5. I think uh, that's one of the uh, possibilities here. Something that can definitely happen. Over 2.5. Fortuna Sittard maybe wins, but Twente will definitely score. So I'm not counting that out. So I'm just going for the over 2.5 at 1.92. I think that's a better option.
All right. Next up, PSV hosting Groningen. PSV win set at 1.14. Groningen win set at 19. Line for total goal set at 3.5. Now, there was a time where Groningen, and it was like years ago, before they had relegated, Groningen could upset PSV. Not at this time, not in 2024. So PSV will win this game very easily, I think. Um, not sure about the over 3.5 goals. Um, kind of a bit high. I think you will be relying on PSV entirely again to push this over 3.5. What are you doing here?
Yeah, I agree. I think the over 3.5 is a little bit too much, and the odds for PSV may be too low. So this is also one of the games I'm going to just skip.
All right. Me also. Let's get to the next game. NEC hosting Utrecht. NEC wins set at 2.7. Utrecht wins set at 2.85. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now, the odds almost a pick 'em, so kind of tells you how close these teams are to each other. If you look at the standings, like 12 points separates them. So that's crazy. But Utrecht 20 goals scored, 11 allowed. NEC 19 goals scored, 10 allowed. So that's like basically not basically that's just the exact same goal difference and almost an exact same goal scored and allowed. So these teams are much closer to each other than you would think, given that Utrecht is sitting second. But Utrecht, they keep finding ways to win. Now we keep saying, yeah, they're lucky. Yeah, like you look at the games, like, okay, how did they win this game? Scoring late, sneaking out wins, a 1-0 win against Heracles, but they keep finding ways. So which way are we going here?
Yeah, difficult one, but you almost want to put your money on Utrecht, just the way they go around their games, the way they play, and NEC, it's it's not a too difficult opponent, but they're playing at home, so that can maybe change things, but still. I'm leaning more towards FC Utrecht, and the over 2.5 here. That's also something to look at. Um, I think I'll go the side of Utrecht or the over 2.5.
I'm leaning more towards the over 2.5 goals. NEC kind of on fire, I would say. The last few games, they've scored 13 goals over 3 games. Now that could mean either two things: they keep they keep going on that trend, or they just drop down and basically don't score in this game. I think they will score. I think we will see goals in this game. Give me the over 2.5. I'm taking the over 2.5. All
Yeah,
right.
that's good.
All right. Next up, Willem 2 hosting Breda. Willem 2 wins set at 2.02. Breda wins set at 3.98. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now, these teams close to each other in terms of points. Both sit on 15 points, but not close to each other in terms of goal difference. Willem 2, 13 goals scored, 12 allowed. Breda, 12 goals scored, 21 allowed. So obviously a team that can defend a lick. And if you're going on the road and you can defend, well, you're gonna have a hard time winning. So give me Willem 2 here. What are you doing?
Yeah, Willem to win. This has to be a Willem to win. I know Breda lost 3 in a row, but this will be the fourth because it happened before with Breda. So I think it will just be a Willem to win. I'll just go for Willem to.
All right, I agree with you. Let's get to the next game. Sparta hosting AZ. Sparta wins set at 3.6. AZ wins set at 2.17. Line for third goal set at 2.5. Now AZ were like 7 games without a win. And then they won against Fenerbahce in the Europa League. So I thought, okay, things are going well again. I backed them against Willem II before the break, and that was a very disappointing loss. So they haven't won an Eredivisie game in a while, but I think this is a good spot. Sparta, obviously, new coach, but I don't think they have good players. And you saw against Groningen, didn't even score. I know it was a road game, but expected goals still under one. Lost 4-1 against Utrecht, the first game of with the new coach. So changing coaches doesn't always give you the coach bump. You also need good players. I don't think they match up well against AZ, so give me AZ for a win. They haven't won in a while in the Eredivisie at least, so good spot for them. Where are you going here?
Yeah, I agree. AZ win. They haven't won. I think it was 7 games or something. They haven't won it. It is easy. So, yeah, I would. You can't go anywhere else than just AZ.
All right. Next up, Ajax hosting PEC. Ajax wins set at 1.16. PEC wins set at 18. Line for Zorgo set at 3.5. Another game I'm looking to skip. Obviously, odd for Ajax, too low. PEC, not sure they score in this game. Ajax, they've been defending better the last few games. 3 of the last 5 games, they haven't allowed a goal. So I think Ajax will win. Not doing anything else. What are you doing here?
I'm a little bit, yeah, thinking about the over 3.5, but PEC Zwolle, I think the last few games they played against Ajax, they scored, so last game they even won. Okay, that was a friendly game, but still, the competition games, they usually score against Ajax. So the over 3.5 is possible. Ajax maybe can even win with a 4 or 5 goal difference this game, especially because they're playing at home. So yeah, I would not count the over 3.5 out.
I'm not counting it out. It's possible. Not sure it's likely. I think I just have other interesting games that I like this weekend, so I'm skipping that one. All right. That wraps up the Eredivisie. Let's get to the Premier League. First game, Leicester City hosting Chelsea. Leicester City wins set at 7.5. Chelsea wins set at 1.64. Line for total goal set at 3.5. Now, I've pretty much faded Leicester City in every game this season, I think, but one. And I've been correct most of the time. Leicester City, the name rings bells because they won the Premier League like a million years ago, but they're not the same team, even though they still have 40. He's like 80 years old right now, so they're not beating Chelsea. What are you doing here?
Yeah. What ought you have for the Chelsea win?
1.46.
Oh, 46. Oh, I thought you said 64. So I said, oh, which side are you on? But
maybe I said maybe I misspoke, but I got 1.46.
Okay, no, at 1.46, definitely too low. Chelsea will win, that's for sure. But the over 3.5, yeah, that's a little bit too much in this game. So just the Chelsea win. Yeah, over 3.5. No, I don't think so. But I'm gonna skip this one because the odds for Chelsea are just a little too low.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Chelsea, but I'm just gonna parlay them with another team. We'll get to that when we do our best bets. All right, next up, Fulham hosting Wolves. Fulham wins set at 1.53. Wolves wins set at 6.5. Line for total goals set at 2.5. Now, here I'm just taking the over 2.5 goals. I was on Wolves before the international break, winning against Southampton. That was a good pick. Like I said, they were due for a win. Now they're going on the road, so they're due for a loss. And if you look at the road losses, 4 straight games has seen over 2.5 goals. Actually, all 4 of them has seen over 3.5 goals. So This would be pretty much of the same. Give me the over 2.5 goals here. Sergio, what are you doing?
Nothing much. This is one of the games in the Premier League I'm skipping. Also, yeah, I don't trust none of these two. Had a lot of bad luck with these two this season so far. So no, I'm skipping this one.
So they're on your no bet list.
Yes, just added them a few weeks ago.
All right. Next up, Bournemouth hosting Brighton. Bournemouth wins set at 2.55. Brighton wins set at 2.9. Line for Togo set at 2.5. Now, this is a tough game. I had a tough time picking this one. Bournemouth, obviously, 3 straight home wins. Now, the first one wasn't that impressive against Southampton, but the last two against Arsenal and against City, while Brighton overall, they were a good team. But if you look at the road record, 2 road wins against Everton and another one against Newcastle. But the 3 road games they haven't won, they didn't have easy opponents, right? So a 1-1 draw against Arsenal, a 4-2 loss against Chelsea, and a 2-1 loss against Liverpool. So I think Brighton's a little bit better. Still had a tough time picking this game. Where are you going here, Sergio?
I still think Bournemouth is the team to beat. I'm still just going for the Bournemouth win. Yeah, the last game they played against Brentford, you know, they they lost, but still, yeah, they played very well and at home. I think Bournemouth is almost unbeatable for teams like Brighton. So yeah, I'm just going for a Bournemouth win.
Yeah, the only Bournemouth, they've lost 1 home game this season. That was a 1-0 loss against Chelsea, and that was a crazy game. I think Chelsea was very lucky in that game because Bournemouth had like 19 shots, 7 shots on goal, while Chelsea had just 3 shots on goal. And Chelsea scored very late in that game. Bournemouth also missed a penalty, so kind of a crazy game. Back to back home. I know 3 straight home wins, but back to back over good teams, Arsenal and City, should give you a lot of confidence. So I kind of agree with you. Bournemouth's the spot here. But listen, man, like I said, Brighton, they have been tough even on the road for good teams. So don't call them out. I like Bournemouth, but not as the best bet. All right. Next up, Aston Villa hosting Crystal Palace. Villa wins set at 1.68. Palace wins set at 5.75. Line for Turgo set at 2.5. Now, Villa, another team that's kind of on a disappointing stretch. They haven't won in a while. Actually, 5 straight games they haven't won, and 2 straight they haven't scored. That's very un-Villa-like. So I will believe we will see goals in this game, especially given they're playing at home. Villa Park will be wild. Give me Aston Villa for a win, and I also like Aston Villa over 1.5 goals. What are you doing here?
4 losses in a row, plus 1 draw. So yeah, I'm not looking anywhere else against Crystal Palace. It's a perfect opponent for them. The over 2.5 even is, it's possible because Aston Villa, yeah, they also concede a lot of goals. So over 2.5 is also possible. They'll win, but maybe concede a goal. So over 2.5, definitely one of the plays to consider, and also an Aston Villa win. So, but I'm just going for the win.
Yeah.
Safe.
Yeah, I like the win and Villa over 1.5 goals. All right, next up, Everton hosting Brentford. Everton wins set at 2.43. Brentford wins set at 3.15. Line for Zorgo set at 2.5. Now, another game where 2 teams that obviously not great. Brentford's been good at home, but on the road just awful. In the Premier League, they have lost every road game. But I'm not sure Everton's good enough to win against Brentford, even though they're playing at home. I'm looking at the under 2.5 goals here because I don't think there will be a lot of goals in this game. Brentford, yeah, it looks like they score a lot, 22 goals in 11 games, but on the road they haven't scored more than once in none of their games, and Everton has just scored 10 goals in 11 games. So classic under for me. But listen, I hate playing the under when the number is this low at 2.5, but I'm just taking the under. What are you doing here, Sergio?
Yeah, Yeah, I'm not going for the under. That's for sure. You just said the reason why. Yeah, it's too low, but still, I'm not that confident about Everton, even though they're playing at home. But still, Brentford has a bigger chance of winning this game. The odds are higher. I'm not sure why. Because yeah, Brentford, they won what, four of the last six, and Everton just a few more draws. But yeah, I
Yeah,
don't
but
know, but my gut feeling tells me to just go for Bradford. So
yeah, but like I said, Brentford, they've lost every road game. They've won one road game, that was the cup game. But in the Premier League, they've lost every road game. Not even one draw. They've lost every road game. So that kind of spells trouble.
yeah, but this time it's against Everton.
Yeah, so Everton might see this as an opportunity to take points. So I really think this will be a draw. If I would do a prediction, it would be a 1-1 draw. So that's why I like the under 2.5 goals here. All right, next up, Arsenal hosting Nottingham Forest. Arsenal wins set at 1.38. Forest wins set at 9.5. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now, we've been saying that this a lot today. Another team that hasn't won in a while. Arsenal, 3 straight games without a win. I know they've played some tough opponents, and all 3 games were on the road, but still disappointing. A 1-0 loss against Newcastle, 1-0 against Inter, and a 1-1 draw against Chelsea. Now you go home, host a Nottingham Forest team that's been the surprise of the season, at least in the Premier League, right? They're sitting fifth, tied on points with Arsenal. So Arsenal, they shouldn't see this as a walkover. They're playing at home, 1.38. I know the odds low, but you have to take Arsenal here. I'm also not taking the over 2.5 because I think Nottingham Forest they will defend a lot in this game. So I'm not sure we see over 2.5 goals. What are you doing here?
I'm just thinking the other way. I'm going for the over 2.5. So yeah, I think Nottingham Forest will score, but Arsenal is still gonna win the game. Like you said, they haven't won no in a well 3 straight games without a win. So yeah, I'm just going for an Arsenal win. But the over 2.5, it's a little bit better, the odds. So I'm going for the over 2.5.
All right. Next up, Manchester City hosting Tottenham. City wins set at 1.52. Tottenham wins set at 6.1. Line for total goals set at 3.5. Now, like I said, we've been saying that a lot today. City, another team that hasn't won in a while. And it's crazy to mention those 2 words, more than 2 words, couple of words. City haven't won in a while. Um,
But
four
but
straight
uh,
games.
but it's just not it's just not winning, losing. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah. 4 straight losses. Four
Yeah,
straight
four
losses.
straight losses. That's that didn't happen since I heard it was like 15 or 16 years ago. So yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah, definitely for a Guardiola. Under Guardiola, I think they haven't even lost 3 straight games under Guardiola. So this is crazy. But Tottenham also 2 straight losses, and the last one against Ipswich Town. God damn, how do you lose that game? They were playing at home, so that makes it even worse. Um, I'm leaning towards City in this game because, like I said, 4 straight losses. Could it be 5? I have a hard time seeing that. But if you look at their injury list, a lot of players are still questionable. Akanji, Ake, Doku, Foden, Grealish, Nunez, and Stones, all questionable. And of course, Rodi, Kovacic, and Diaz, they won't be playing. So I have a hard time picking City in this game. But listen, man, even harder time picking Tottenham. I'm looking more at the over 3.5 goals because I think City will score in this game. And so Tottenham is not a team that will just lay back, sit back, and defend and try to score in one goal. They are very they don't play a conservative style. So I can see the over 3.5 goals here. What are you doing?
Yeah, I I'm not so sure about the over 3.5. I think City will be careful also, you know. I think the four losses in a row, you know, I think it's starting to, you know, get into their head. So they'll be very careful. I think Guardiola will, you know, and also assure the players, his players to, you know, to be careful. So I think City will still win, but I don't think it will be a high scoring game. No, no, so I'm just going for the City win. You know, we said at three in a row that it's impossible for them to lose a fourth, and they did. So, but I'm confident to say 15 in a row. Or yeah, that's no, that's going to be beyond. So I'm just going for the City win.
All right. Tottenham already beat City this season. That was in the EFL Cup, a 2-1 win. But that was at home, and City didn't not field their best 11. So and now City returns home. I have a hard time seeing Tottenham picking up points here. So kind of agree with you. All right. Next up, Southampton hosting Liverpool. Southampton wins set at 10.5. Liverpool wins set at 1.32. Line for total goal set at 3.5. Now, Southampton, one of the worst teams in the league. Liverpool, the absolute best, and actually Southampton, the worst team in the league. Just that last with 4 points, and Liverpool, the best team in the league. So
Yeah.
I still think the 1.32 is just too high. I know it's a low odd and to bet and put your money on, but it's a good pick to parlay with another team. How in the hell is this 1.32?
Yeah, I don't know, but it's maybe because a few players of Liverpool, you know, went to play for the country in the interland break. But I uh, I would still go for the over 3.5. I think. Yeah, I think there'll be a lot of goals scored this game.
Yeah, then again, you would be relying on Liverpool to push the over. Liverpool, they've allowed 6 goals all season in the Premier League. Just a great defensive team. And Southampton, they've scored 7 goals in 11 games. So I don't think Southampton scoring against Liverpool. So I'm not taking the over. I will take Liverpool and parlay them with another team. We'll get to that in the best bets. All right, Ipswich Town hosting Manchester United. Ipswich Town wins set at 5.5. United wins set at 1.68. Line for total goal set at 3.5. Now, like we already said, Ipswich Town, they beat Tottenham surprisingly before the break. United, new coach on a bench. So I think they will get the new coach bump. I still don't think it will work long term. He needs new players. He needs better players. But against Ipswich Town, a good spot to win your first game as the head coach. Which way are you going here?
Yeah, coming in as a Manchester United coach against Ipswich Town, it's you know, a lot of coaches would dream about that. So that's a perfect match for him to start, you know, and sitting at you know 13th in the league. Yeah, that's you can't afford a loss against Ipswich Town at the moment. So I would I'm just going for the Manchester United win at the 1.67, I think. Yeah,
Yeah, I got at 1.68.
yeah, see, so yeah, that's I think that's the only way to go this game.
All right, I agree with you. I'm definitely over United. Next game, Newcastle hosting West Ham. Newcastle wins at 1.48. West Ham wins at 7. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Monday games, you know we don't like those. But Newcastle at home, 1.48. West Ham, not a good team, so you just gotta back the home team here. But low odd and a Monday game, so not really looking to bet that game. Are you doing something?
Yeah, no, I'm following you on this one.
All
Also,
right. All right. Now let's that wraps up the Premier League. Let's get to Serie A. First game on the schedule: Inter going on the road against Hellas Verona. Verona wins set at 8.5. Inter wins set at 1.38. Line for total goals set at 2.5. Now Verona one win in the last 5 games. I know it was against Roma, but this man Roma just fired their coach, so that win doesn't say anything. Inter coming off a draw against Napoli, a 1-1 draw. And not a bad result for them. They played better and actually deserved more in that game. They can afford to drop points, it's especially not against a team like Verona. So give me Inter for a win. What are you doing here?
I'm looking at the over 2.5. I will just go for the over 2.5 here. Or maybe a Inter win, both teams to score, maybe. But yeah, I'm just going for the over 2.5.
All right. Next up, AC Milan hosting Juventus. AC Milan wins set at 2.25. Juve wins set at 3.55. Line plus total goal set at 2.5. Now, Juve number 6, AC Milan number 7, so teams are kind of close to each other. But AC Milan has allowed twice as many goals as Juventus, and I know Juventus is on the road, but I still don't understand why AC Milan is favored by that much. I'm taking Juventus in this spot. Juventus still they have a good defense. I'm not sure AC Milan can crack that and score more than once in this game. Juventus will definitely score in this game. Um, so maybe the double chance for Juventus is the safer play here. I'm going to take a big swing and I'm going to take Juventus for a win. What are you doing here?
I'm going the other way. I'm taking AC Milan for a win. Yeah. I think AC Milan is just a little bit better. I don't know. For me, I think they have a better team, and also AC Milan. Of course, they're playing at home, and Juventus. I'm not. You know, 3 draws. They have a lot of draws, especially the last 6 games. So I think AC Milan is just in a little bit better form at the
And
moment.
the reason why you're seeing so many draws for UFA is because of the defense. Although in 2 of those draws, we've seen a lot of goals: a 2-2 draw against Parma and a 4-4 draw against Inter. That was a wild game. But Juventus just they defend very well. And like I said, 7 goals allowed on the season. 4 were against Inter, 2 against Parma. So 6 of those goals came in just 2 games. So the other 10 games they've allowed 1 goal. I'm not seeing how AC Milan scores more than once in this
Yeah,
game.
yeah, that's why I'm not going for the over 2.5. So this will definitely be a 1 or 2 goal game, and I'm choosing the side of AC Milan.
All right. Next up, Parma hosting Atalanta. Parma wins set at 5. Atalanta wins set at 1.64. Line total goal set at 2.5. Now, Atalanta, so I have to take the over 2.5 goals here. 31 goals scored in 12 games, just the highest scoring team in Serie A. And Atalanta, very offensive minded. Parma, 16 goals scored in 12 games. So they obviously can also put the ball in the net and they're playing at home. So I expect them to score a goal here. Atalanta, very hot. They haven't lost in a while. The last game they lost was back in September. Since then, 1 draw. That was kind of a disappointing 0-0 draw against Celtic. But every other game they've scored. They've scored at least twice in every game. So give me the over 2.5. What are you doing here?
Yeah, I'm just going for the Atalanta win, and yeah, I think over 2.5. Yeah, maybe a little bit too low, but I'll just go for the Atalanta win.
All right, next up, Genoa hosting Cagliari. And I'm not going to bore you with the odds because I'm not betting this game. Number 16 and number 17 squaring up against each other. Both teams 22 goals allowed. Both teams sitting on 10 points. One scored 12 goals on the season, the other 9. Just 2 horrible teams. Not sure I'm even watching this game. Or are you doing something here?
Yeah, you don't have to watch it, but the under 2.5. That's that's the only way you can go with this game. if one of these teams wins, it will, 1 goal game, but under 2.5, I think it's you have a bigger chance of winning.
All right. I'm not betting that game. All right. Next up, Torino hosting Monza. Torino wins set at 2.1. Monza wins set at 4.25. Line for total goals set at 1.5. As a man, if this was set at 2.5, I would take the under, but taking the under at 1.5 is just too risky. But Torino, they're playing at home. Monza on the road. 10 goals scored on the season. Monza really has trouble scoring, even though in the last game it seems like they've been scoring a bit more. But 3 straight games without a goal for Monza. Before that, they had scored 5 goals over 2 games. So not sure if the goal scoring form was just a slight bump, and now they're back to where they were, where they scored, where they have 3 straight games without a goal. And Torino also 3 straight games without a goal. So obviously we're not seeing too many goals in this game. Just a slight lean towards Torino. What are you doing here?
No, for me it's not lean. I just think Torino will win this game at 2.1, 2.10. I think that's very, very interesting odd. Torino's playing at home. They haven't won in 3, so against Monza at home after the interland break. Perfect conditions for the win for Torino.
All right. Next up, Napoli hosting Roma. Napoli wins set at 1.8. Roma wins set at 5. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now, I mentioned it earlier. Roma fired their coach. New coach, but going on the road against the best team in the league. Not a first game you're really looking forward to as the new head coach, right? This is not Ipswich Town.
No, definitely not.
So I'm leaning towards I'm leaning towards Napoli in this game. Back to back games where they haven't won. And they've played some good opponents, Atalanta and Inter. The last one being on the road. So now you go back home against Roma teams that's just in shambles. I'm not sure Ranieri will change things here. Kind of an outdated coach. So I just have to take Napoli here. What are you doing?
Yeah, I agree. I'm going for a Napoli win, and I'm even looking at the over 2.5. They'll win. Maybe Roma scores a goal, possible. So over 2.5 at 2.05. I'm going for that one also.
All right. Next up, Como hosting Fiorentina. Como wins set at 3.2. Fiorentina wins set at 2.43. Line to total goals set at 2.5. Now, I'm going to do something here that's just absolutely crazy. Nothing. I have nothing to back up this pick. I'm going to take Como for a win. Fiorentina, hot, but just a little bit too hot. And if you look closely to Fiorentina's road record, let's start with Lecce. The first road game they won 6-0. I think they were gonna win that game anyway because they were up 2-0. Lecce received the red card, but then it just got out of hand. So 6-0. Okay. Then they won 4-2 against FC St. Gallen in the Conference League, of course. Then they won 1-0 against Genoa, where their expected goals was below 0.5. Another 1-0 win against Torino, where the expected goals was just 0.6, and then they lost against Apoel Nicosia. So Fiorentina seems like they're hot, but not that good on the road. I know Como's in just in an awful spot. They haven't won in a while, but I'm gonna take Como here. What are you doing?
I like the way you use it. Yeah, you summed it up pretty well, but I'm just going for Fiorentina win here. I don't see Como winning this game. The over 2.5 or a Fiorentina win. I think Fiorentina, they're maybe a little bit too hot, but the form they have at the moment is slightly better than Como. Yeah, I hope, but still, yeah, I'm just going for a Fiorentina win.
And one thing I would like to add, the international break doesn't do well for teams that are hot. You know, you actually want to keep rolling. So sometimes you get the international break. The teams that were hot, they kind of come off cold. All right, let's get to the next game. Lazio hosting Bologna. Lazio wins set at 1.93. Bologna wins set at 4.4. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now another team, Lazio, that's just hot, very hot. But I can't go against Lazio here. I know Bologna won against Roma on the road 3-2. Like I said, Roma fired their coach because of the disappointing results. And Bologna on the road, they haven't been good. Um, Lazio, like I said, just on fire. How can you go against Lazio? I don't think you should. Give me Lazio for a win. What are you doing here?
Yeah, they won their last 6 games, so yeah, you can't look around them. So I would definitely just go for the Lazio win also. Over 2.5, also interesting, very interesting for me. But Lazio at 1.93, I think that's a good odds. So Lazio win.
All right. Now we have two Monday games, Empoli hosting Udinese and Venezia hosting Lecce. I don't have a bet for either of those games. Do you have a pick there, Sergio?
No, if you look at the odds, you can see the reason why. So yeah, I'm skipping these 2 games.
All right. Now that wraps up Serie A. Let's get to La Liga. First game, Valencia hosting Real Betis. Valencia wins set at 2.95. Betis wins set at 2.75. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now, Betis was favored by a little bit more when this line opened up. Now the odds for Betis are just going up. And I kind of agree with the movement because I'm on Valencia in this spot. I know Valencia is just man, they're in rough shape, man. Just worst team in the league. Didn't expect this, but Betis on the road. They have one good win. They've won 2 games, and the one against Gifora in the Copa del Rey, but not really counting that one. The other road win was against Osasuna, where not sure they were better than Osasuna in that game. And if you look at the other road games, not great. They haven't scored in like 4 of the road games, even against an Alaves, a 0-0 draw, had a tough time scoring. Lost against Legia Warsaw in the Conference League. So Betis, not a great road team. And I know Valencia's awful. Maybe hate myself after right after the final whistle blows in this game. But this is a good spot for Valencia to pick up some points. What are you doing here?
Yeah, maybe a good spot for them, but like you said, really, really bad shape. Valencia has to hope that Betis doesn't score, and I don't think that's going to happen. Betis will definitely score. So for Valencia to win, they have to score at least 2 times, and that's difficult enough, especially for a team that's in the top 10. So I'm leaning more towards Betis, and maybe even the over 2.5. But I don't think Valencia is going to win this game. I think Manuel Pellegrini is experienced enough to, make sure that a team that's sitting 20 in the league doesn't surprise him. So I'm just going for a Betis win.
Well, he has experience, but the road record doesn't really show that. Let me just say that. All right. Next up, Atletico Madrid hosting Alaves. Atletico Madrid wins set at 1.41. Alaves wins set at 9. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now you just have to take Atletico Madrid in this spot. Odds are a little bit low, but no way Alaves is winning this game. Alaves, they've won one road game in the La Liga this season. That was against Sociedad, a team that has trouble scoring, and Sociedad received a red card after 29 minutes. So by that time the score was 0-0. So basically had an advantage for more than an hour playing with a man more. Still just a sneaky 2-1 win. They're not going on the road and beating Atletico Madrid. Not a chance. Give me Atletico Madrid. What are you doing?
I agree with you. Atletico Madrid for a win. The over 2.5, yeah, I don't, I won't look at that at all because the last I think 2 or 3 times I put a game Atletico Madrid over 2.5. They just won 2-0. So it looks like 2-0 is for us they are willing to go if it's an easy game, if it's an easy game for them. So maybe this one will be a 2-0 also. So
Yeah, I think Madrid they just want to score and wrap things up. So
yeah,
the over 2.5 goals not a good spot.
no.
All right, next up, Las Palmas hosting Mallorca. Las Palmas win set at 3.05. Mallorca win set at 2.7. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Mallorca seem, yeah, I don't know what to think of Mallorca. They've given a good team some trouble, but man, 3 straight games without a win, and they haven't scored in all of those games. So going on the road against a team like Las Palmas should be a good spot to bounce back because Las Palmas just one home win on the season, but this pretty much feels like a draw. What are you doing here?
Yeah, I think it feels like a draw also. But Mallorca, like you said, 3 losses in a row and just 1 win in the last 5. So yeah, it's a small lean towards Mallorca win, but I'm not sure yet what to think of this game. But I'm it's a lean towards Mallorca.
All right. Next up, Girona hosting Espanyol. Girona wins set at 1.65. Espanyol wins set at 6. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now, Girona kind of very disappointing this season. Now we know they've lost a lot of their good players, but you would expect them to at least have a decent home record. They don't. They really have trouble winning games even at home. But I think against a team like Espanyol, just it's a good spot, right? A team that has trouble scoring, they allow a lot of goals, allow twice as much as they're scoring. Girona also at a -1 goal difference, so obviously not a great team this season. But I'm still leaning towards Girona. What are you doing here?
Yeah. Girona, I think you're right, but I'm also looking at the over 2.5. I think the over 2.5, it's Girona win, but Espanyol, I'm sure they'll score a goal. So I'm looking at the over 2.5.
All right. Next up, Celta Vigo hosting Barcelona. Celta wins set at 4.75. Barca wins set at 1.68. Line for total goal set at 3.5. Now, before the international break, we were both on Barcelona going on the road against Real Sociedad and winning that game. Crazy game. Barcelona pretty much dominated possession. Um, of course, they got a goal disallowed, which you can really question what VAR was doing there. Um, Obviously, that wasn't offside. That wasn't offside. And if Barcelona scores at the 30-minute mark, now we're just looking at a totally different game. I think they will be pissed off here, and Celta will pay the price. So give me Barcelona for a win. What are you doing here?
Yeah, I'm also going for the Barcelona win at the 1.70. Yeah, I think that's a very good odd for Barcelona. They'll definitely win this game.
All right. Next up, Osasuna hosting Villarreal. Osasuna wins set at 2.63. Villarreal wins set at 2.7. Line for total goals set at 2.5. Now, I like Osasuna in this spot. They've been very good at home. Just one home loss. That was against Real Betis, and it was a game where I think they were a little bit better. Probably deserved a little bit more. Still one home loss. They even beat Barcelona at home, scored 4 goals. And if we look back, the form Barcelona's in, even though it was a crazy game, if you win against Barcelona, that's just it says something about the team. While if you look at Villarreal, they have trouble defending. 19 goals allowed. Now Osasuna obviously not pretty much better at defending. 20 goals allowed, but I still think at home they should win this game. What are you doing?
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, Osasuna. But just thinking of Villarreal, Villarreal is, I think it's still a team with a little bit more experience. and Osasuna losing the last game. I think it was against Real. It was it against Real? Yes, it was against Real,
Yeah,
right?
4-0.
Yeah. I think that maybe cracked something in the team. So I'm just going for a Villarreal win. Just a gut feeling. I'm going for a Villarreal win.
But you see 2.63 Villarreal and 2.7, so almost a pick 'em. Kind of tells you how close these two teams are to each other. Now, can we find some common ground on the over 2.5 goals? Because, like I said, 39 goals allowed between these two teams, so I think we should see goals in this game. Can we find some common ground there?
Yes, if one of them is going to win, it will definitely be over 2.5 goals because both teams will definitely score. So I would even look at the both teams to score or both teams to score and Villarreal win. But over 2.5, that's also very likely. Yes.
Yeah, probably. I'm probably just gonna stick with the over 2.5. All right. Next up, Sevilla hosting Rayo. Sevilla wins set at 2.35. Rayo wins set at 3.4. Line for goal set at 2.5. Now, Sevilla, very disappointing. Another team, 2 straight games without a goal and lost both games. Rayo, obviously, also not in good form. Teams are very close to each other, number 12 and number 13. I think Sevilla being at home gives them the slight advantage, but I don't know what to make of Sevilla at this point. What are you doing here?
Yeah, I agree with a lot you just said. I'm not looking at the over 2.5. I'm not looking at this game. It can go both ways now. And you can't. I don't have any confidence in Sevilla at all. So this is one of the games I'm skipping also.
All right. I'm going to join you on that one. Next up, Leganes hosting Real Madrid. Leganes win set at 8.5. Real Madrid win set at 1.44. Line to the goal set at 2.5. Now, Real, since the start of the season, they were getting a lot of love from the bookmakers, a lot of respect, but I think this is disrespect. 1.44 against Leganes. You just have to smash this odd. Look at the parlay it with another team. We'll get to that in the best bets. But 1.44, that's just crazy, man. Give me Real Madrid for a win here. What are you doing?
Yeah, and even the over 2.5, it's at 1.86. So yeah, that's the disrespect both ways. So yeah, I'm Real Madrid win. I agree, and even the over 2.5 is a very interesting one.
All right, we agree there. Let's get to the last game. Athletic Bilbao hosting Real Sociedad. Bilbao wins set at 2.35. Sociedad wins set at 3.7. Line for the goal set at 2.5. But man, the over 2.5 is set at 2.6 and the under 2.5 at 1.5. So they're basically not expecting a lot of goals in this game, and neither am I. Sociedad, they actually have trouble scoring. They had some games where it looked like they had figured it out, but still 11 goals scored in 13 games. That's like less than a goal a game. While Bilbao, they've been finding ways to win, especially their home games. Only one loss, that was against Atletico Madrid. Can't really fault them for that one, but also couple draws sprinkled in between, and we know this game is going to be a crazy game. So I still think this game low scoring. I'm looking at a low scoring draw. Possibly my pick will be both teams to score set at 2. Even though Sociedad has trouble scoring, they might get a goal in this game. What are you doing here?
I have a little bit more confidence in Bilbao. Um, if they don't draw, they win, and so now it's a home game against Real Sociedad. It's a game for staying six or maybe even climbing a place up or going down to 8. So very important game for Atletico Bilbao, and yeah, so I think they'll just win this one.
All right. Now that wraps up La Liga, and that wraps up all picks for this upcoming weekend. Now we're gonna do a quick recap for our best bets. Now I got Barcelona for a win. I have Leipzig for a win. I have AZ for a win. I'm gonna parlay. I also have Aston Villa for a win. I'm gonna parlay Real Madrid with Liverpool, and I'm also gonna parlay Inter with Atletico Madrid. What are you doing, Sergio?
Yeah, I have AZ Alkmaar for a win, Bournemouth for a win, of course, FC Twente, Fortuna over 2.5. I have AC Milan for a win, Atalanta for a win, and of course Torino.
All right. Now that wraps up our best bets. And like we always say, guys, bet smart, bet with your head, set your limits, and stay within your means. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Yeah, have a good weekend, everybody.